funny, but if everybody else is laughing, that may even just get you laughing just because maybe you didn't get it, but everybody else is laughing.
Getting,
so yeah,
you're getting in the vibe.
It's contagious. Yeah.
I like country music, but boy, if I see a good band live, it's great. You know.
Yeah.
It's just different live. You know.
Definitely.
Anything.
Definitely.
But comedy is different because without music or acting or anything else live, comedy, you're really bringing out that big emotion of laughter. And that's what's different about it than I think a lot of the other things is because to laugh in a room with a bunch of strangers around you almost makes you one with everybody in that room just for that one little moment or, for that one show. And that's just different than sitting at your house watching a comedy or even, going to a theater and watching it because it's just there's no interaction.
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely.
Right. It's a real experience, not a manufactured experience.
Exactly.
You made the effort to do that. Yeah.
And you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to, because it's not always going to go well. So you always have that what's going to happen
you've
thing.
You've seen my show then.
No, you did great. But one thing I was going to ask you, Brian, is what do you do when you have to go on stage? You get a show, and something's happened in your life where you're in the mood where you don't want to be there, and you're not in the mood to laugh.
Hang yourself. You want to.
Well, not necessarily hang yourself, but you're not in the mood to laugh, and you don't want to be there. How do you handle that?
I think I've felt like that for the last 2 years. No, actually, comedy has brought me out of that. It's more like I had a very tragic thing happen. Not going to go into it. Let's just say they're not alive anymore. Oh. And when I went to Myrtle Beach for the funeral for this person, I was with my good friend Daryl, the guy I was telling you about in Canada. He just happened to be working that week. Now, you tell me there's not a God or something, but he just happened to be at the club that week.
Right.
And I came up, and the club owner and everything, they said, if you want to go up through 5 minutes, you can. Just so you know. And I was like, and I'm going through pure hell, emotionally. And I said, nah. And then I thought about it, and I went, you know what? I want to do it. And I did. I went up, and I can't remember anything about it. Daryl said, hey, for what you were going through, you did fine. I said, okay. But anyway.
Now, wait a minute. Now, that's right out of your mouth. You're not supposed to say it's fine. That's the worst thing you could say.
Oh, now you're using my own stuff.
I'm using your own act against you.
You're using my own stuff.
Yeah, to fill you in, Lenny, he said, never tell a woman when she asks how you look, never tell her she looks fine, because that's the worst thing you can say.
Yeah. You learn it. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think comedy for me, man, is if there's a time in my life that I'm going through hell like I did then or some other point, it's, get me on the damn stage, please. I mean, it'd be like an escape mechanism for you or Lenny, whatever y'all's escape mechanism is. Man, if I can get up there, I can get out of whatever.
See, that's interesting you say that because either one of us, Lenny or I know when I am in that mood or whatever, and it doesn't have to be something as serious as that, or I'm just not in the mood. I'll say, Lenny, we can't do the show tonight. We got to push it at night or something like that. I can't go on and just fake it. So I mean, I have to applaud you if you're able to do that and go on and go on with the show.
I don't know if it's faking it though.
Well, not faking
John,
it, but putting it on, turning on when inside you're not there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to turn something on. You got to bring that out. That whatever it is when you hit that stage, and I don't know what it is. I just know I can do it for some reason. That gets you out of that problem or whatever is going on.
I guess for that moment you're in your happy place.
And I think that's why it's going to be hard to kill live comedy, is because the same thing happens with the audiences too. These people come in and you don't know what they've been through. I've had not all the time, but I've had people come up after a show and go, you know what, I needed that so bad.
Yeah.
And just thank
for that half hour or 45 minutes, you forget your problems and you're one with the comic, and there's no problem outside of that room.
Yeah, and sometimes you touch on something and you don't even know it, but you touch something on somebody was thinking about something that you're talking about, or they just went through something similar to what you're saying. And man, that's a good feeling, you know, when they come up and they go, "Hey, thanks." They thank you, you know, not just because you made them laugh, but because you took them out of their freaking misery, you know. And that's powerful when you can do that, you know. That's like, good gosh. Wow.
Yeah, that was you guys put on a great show Saturday night. So I'm looking forward to you guys coming back so we can see you again.
Let's do something shaping. What do you got shaping?
Oh, cows.
Cows.
Now Lenny's actually he's in Florida right now, but he actually does his. We don't do it from the same location. He's actually in Maryland most of the time. So if you're ever up there, you should get Lenny in there.
Yeah, I'm actually halfway between Baltimore and Philadelphia, so it's actually kind of a cool, kind of a nice little spot that I found myself in. But hey, I wanted to ask you about the so you bill yourself as a comedian philosopher. What is that? I mean, I would assume that, I mean, even to be a comedian, I mean, you have to have a certain, you know, philosophy on life that's probably different than most people, you know.
It started off as a joke, really. I had some cards made up years ago, business cards that said that on it. Just, I don't know. I just thought it was funny to say my name and the two things. Because you ever notice how somebody, an artist or whoever, could be a plumber. They always have Joe Frank, plumbing and something else.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
It's not just one thing. You know, it's always got to be something else. Plumbing and he's a gardener. You know. So I thought I want to put something else on there.
It's the answer.
That has, you know, nothing to do with it, but it's still kind of entertainment a little bit or something. You know, I didn't want to put comedian trash guy. You know, I wanted to say, all right, let's just get something that's, you know. So I put philosopher on there and didn't even think about it. And I'd hand out the card, and people look at the card and laugh, and then, you know, I'm so slow. It took me like 10 years to go, that's a damn good moniker. Why don't I just use that? You know?
Yeah,
and
it
so
is.
that's
it
how.
is.
When I put the website together, I said, well, all right, we'll just stick it on the website. Now, the philosophy thing is kind of weird because I chose that because then I wrote the two books, Make Love Not Warts and 7 Beers Ago, and it's all proverbs that I've twisted around. So in reality, I'm not lying. I am a comedian and a philosopher, if you look at it.
Right.
I have written 2 books of philosophy, no matter how screwed up they may be.
Well, much like all comics really are. Like Lenny said, you really do have some kind of philosophy behind what you're saying, and however screwed up it is.
Well, every human's philosopher to a certain degree, I believe. But did you get a chance to look through any of the book?
Oh yeah, I've read all through it. I've been reading all through it, and it's funny. It's a lot of funny one-liners in there.
You must have been on the toilet a lot if you read that much of it.
I told Lenny and I told my wife about that your description of the bathroom book.
Oh.
how it works.
Diuretic,
It is.
Laughter does a lot of good things for you, man. I'm telling you. And one of them is it will move the food through the system. If you're constipated, I suggest renting a movie or hell going to a comedy club.
I was going to say, you said it was a diuretic. I guess you're supposed to read that standing up then, huh?
Well, you know, I would put plastic down.
Oh, boy.
At least. And have somebody standing by with a water hose, maybe.
Oh,
but
that's what I like to do. I like to do that. I talk to people while I'm at the urinal. I say, hey, that's a nice watch. Or, you know, turn to see what they're looking at, too, you know.
Now, I actually have a urinal philosophy, and it's based on the number of urinals and how, you know, the spacing, where you stand, and definitely at no time are you to speak to anyone.
Oh, I know. Yeah, why can't they put a little wall in there? They always have to be open.
Yeah, the women go into a bathroom, and it's like walking into the Taj Mahal. They got furniture and appliances, and they go into their own separate room to go to the bathroom. We go in there, and you got to wading through piss on the floor, and you got to go up to the urinal, probably bumping elbows with the guy next to you. And if you're lucky, the toilet stall has a door on it.
If you're lucky.
And how did you know what was in the girls' bathroom? Is it the same way I knew, or every other guy knows? We accidentally walked our ass in there one time.
No, I don't know from that. I just know from TV, from seeing him on TV. And I'm like, is it real? And I'm like, is it really like that?
That you're a dumbass. You're gonna make me admit it, but you won't admit it. No, I walked in one time, and the lady actually went, "You're in the wrong room." There's some girl, and I went, "Oh crap!" But it was nice. I was like, "Man, look at this."
Yeah, I don't understand it. What are they doing there where they need a couch?
Well, I've gone in there. Well, you know what? I've gone in there because I walked by. I think the first time I walked by, and a room, walked by a bathroom, and it didn't want to make me retch, As I'm walking by, I said, "Well, what's going on in there?" And just kind of peeked in. Wow, this is high end,
So you're just a curious guy, then. That's
Lenny went in to clear out the viewing window from the other side of the wall.
Somebody had covered up the hole.
Lenny went in to adjust his camera.
Well, I could get you in trouble now, especially if you put that stuff on YouTube or whatever.
It's all collection type.
Anyway, that's where the philosophy thing came out of, really, and it just happened. Lenny, it just happened to work out that I wrote 2 philosophy books after I'd already determined that. So it's kind of weird, really, the way it worked out.
Now you're working on your next book right now.
Yeah, this one's different. It's called Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Club, and what it is I've taken a lot of stories from the road, and I'm sticking them in this. They're short stories, and I'm putting them all in this book. And like I was telling you the other night, they want to illustrate it, so I had to send them pictures of everybody. And
now are these just personal stories, or are some of them secondhand?
No, these are all personal. These are all I was involved in all of them, but they're not all about me. It's just about. I got a friend named Dave Ugly. He's in a few of them just because back in the day he used to drink a lot and just wound up doing a lot of stupid things. And I just happened to watch him and remember him. And we worked with Tommy Chong one week, and I barely remember a lot of that, but I remember enough to put a story together. I remember walking
is he out of jail yet? Is Tommy Chong out of jail yet? I know he spent some time in jail recently. Oh yeah, because he had that. He had his. Oh, yes, it was drug related. Yes, of course.
No.
Well, yeah, I thought it was because he sold the things in the back of the magazine.
Yeah. He sold the bongs. He shipped the bongs to the wrong state. Apparently.
Is that what happened?
Oh man.
Oh,
yeah.
No,
actually, what happened is he had a Fed infiltrated the company and ended up doing it, and he ended up going to jail for that because the Fed snuck in, got hired, and they didn't ship to I can't recall what state, and this guy did it, and the whole thing fell apart, and actually he was convicted in, I think, federal court because of it. So
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't smoke personally anymore, but it's ridiculous. Come on, They grow. Why are you pulling over Willie Nelson, for Christ's sake? Come on, man. Give me a break. Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson never hurt anyone.
He's already been screwed once with the taxes.
Oh, yeah,
now they're going after him about pot every time you turn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, don't get me started on the government. Nothing good ever comes out of it.
Is that why you're moving around so much?
Yes, I keep one step ahead.
I'm in Florida. No, I'm in Maryland. No, I don't know where.
Last week he was in Vegas. It's hard to keep track of him.
I'm telling you, his real name's not Lenny. No.
Oh, that's great stuff.
What's the deal with y'all's the cover there, the Frayel's website? With
you like that picture?
That? Yeah, me and my dad were looking at it, and he's going, "Who's that?" I go, "I don't know."
I'll tell you the story behind that is I found that picture. It's actually the picture of the two women on the right, or the mother-daughter on the right.
Yeah,
was just a picture, one of those funny pictures floating around the internet. And
so really?
Yeah. And so I saw that, and I had it. I don't know what I was doing with it, but I had it up either on Facebook or something. And my wife saw it, and she did some photoshopping and stuck our pictures on there, and it just came out looking really funny.
No, so you don't know those people?
No, I have no idea who they are. No. But I mean, you've seen me and my hair and everything. It's totally nothing like that.
Right
yeah.
Now. That's the way his hair was.